Okay, nobody panic. I'm alive. Yeah, sorry for the dramatic entrance. Just had to get everybody's attention for a moment. So, where have I been? Good question. It's kind of complicated. So, the long and short of it is I have been working on my next major project, which is going to be the first of the several episodes I'm doing on Dark Souls 2. The follow-up to my video on Dark Souls, you know, the one that got... Now, how many views again? Oh. Yeah, that one. So, it's been a bit of a process, and as I posted on my community tab a little while ago, the process involved me having to start over because the script was just not coming together well. But thankfully, I do now have, at the very least, the rough draft completely done, and I'm in the process of proofreading it. I'm probably about halfway through that. Yeah, this whole time, it's the script that's been holding me up the longest. Now, you might be wondering, well, why is that? There's plenty to talk about with Dark Souls 2. And that's the problem. There's too much. There is so much game to talk about, and I had no idea how I was going to format this video. My original plan going in was to have basically 2 simultaneous playthroughs going throughout the video. One of the original version and one of Scholar of the First Sin. And I would just be comparing differences as I'm going and only pointing them out where it's relevant, while keeping the focus mainly on the OG version. I'm probably going to have to scrap that plan because there's just so much about Dark Souls 2 to talk about in this first episode alone, because I filled up a, let's see, roughly 13 to 15,000 word script just talking about all the stuff prior to Drangleic Castle. So I had to truncate that a bit, so the pacing of this entire series on Dark Souls 2 is going to be completely whack. And I apologize. I tried my best, but I'm just pushing forward with what I have right now. Otherwise, it's gonna take me way too fucking long. Originally, I had been planning to do this alongside the smaller projects like the one I did a few months ago, roughly once a month or once every 2 months. But, well, dummy me keeps putting effort into everything I do and just does not understand the idea of lower effort content. Or rather, I should say, can't stomach the idea of lower effort content, and that is a personal hurdle that I'm just gonna stop trying to jump over because I have tripped and face planted over it several times now. Currently, the idea is to still go forward with the multi-episode thing on Dark Souls 2, with each video being roughly 40 to 50 minutes in length. I'm gonna try my absolute best to keep everything as focused as I can and still bring up the differences in Scholar of the First Sin where it's appropriate, but I'm probably gonna miss some stuff. So if you're a completionist, sorry. On top of all this, I've had some personal shit happen in the background that's taken up a lot of my time and mental energy. To reassure, it's nothing really bad, just stuff that I couldn't really ignore. And to be honest, there were just other things I wanted to use my extra time on that wasn't just making more videos. Which, funnily enough, leads into the other thing that I want to talk about. I've been working on expanding my creative talent pool, I guess you could say, and I'm wanting to put it to use in other formats. I hate to be vague about it, but I don't want to get into it just yet, because it's actually related to something I'm going to be talking about in the future, just not right now. It'll likely be after the Dark Souls 2 series is done. Whenever that is. Sorry if this all sounds a little breathless and aimless. I'm doing this all completely improv. I haven't scripted any of this. But yeah, main points are I have been working on the next major video. It just ended up taking me a lot longer than I thought it would, and I decided to devote my extra time to not working on more videos and just expanding my creative palette and working on other things that I want to try in the background. I'll have more to say about that in the future. For right now, just rest assured, I am alive. I haven't forgotten, y'all. I'm just dumb, and my creative process is everything but efficient. Also, yeah, if you weren't aware, I did make another smaller video a couple of months ago that not many people saw, so that should be a nice little appetizer to tide you over. On that subject as well, I am really happy that people really seem to enjoy the Hunt Down the Freeman video I did a couple months before that, so if you haven't checked that one out either, it is hands down my best work so far, and I'm very, very proud of it. I still laugh at several parts of it. I mean, it's helped by the fact that Hunt Down the Freeman was just objectively terrible in the funniest ways possible, but there's also a really cool story behind its current development that I think more people should be aware of. So if you haven't watched it yet, I'd recommend doing so. Anyway, that's all I got, folks. Just wanted to give you all a much more loud and public update. I am going to get back to work on the Dark Souls 2 video, and I'll have it done as soon as I possibly can. I cannot thank you enough for your patience, and hopefully you won't have to wait too much longer before you see me again. So, have a good night. Talk to you soon.